Hello and welcome back to my channel. Do supplements actually work? Which supplements do I use and why do I use them? Watch the rest of the video to know why I do it. So, supplements. As I mentioned in one of my previous videos, it is such a wild world out there when it comes to supplements. And there's so many YouTube videos that you watch and you start wondering, oh my God, like, what should I do? Should I be taking this supplement? Should I be taking magnesium before bed? Should I be taking B12? Should I be taking that? And it's just an absolute mess. So my take on it is to have a structured approach to it and kind of step back from what everyone's telling you to do on YouTube channels. There's the most famous and probably well-known and most pushed supplement in the history of humanity. And yes, AG1. So there's a lot of other talks, especially when it comes to magnesium. There's a lot of talking in regards to magnesium help you fall asleep and sleep better, and then all this magic property about magnesium. So how did I approach this supplementation thing? Well, back many years ago, 2018, I just started taking supplements without having any idea. I'd take a kind of a daily mix, drink that, tasted like absolute shit. So I was wondering, like, what am I doing here? Why am I even taking this supplement? Makes no sense whatsoever, but I kept doing it and it was insanely expensive. It was part of a referral program. So I had the interest in the business side of it, but I was also, well, obviously genuinely interested in knowing if it was doing anything to me or not. I was taking vitamin D and a few other things that I can't remember now. Then Laura got cancer and I didn't even have to focus on any of that. You would think, oh, maybe you do want to supplement when you have cancer and so on. And we did approach that topic with our oncologist. And the few that she recommended was vitamin D and calcium, vitamin C, and in Laura's case, iron as well, because she was iron deficient. But other than that, I kind of stopped myself, taking supplements for a while. And then in 2022, end of 2022, when I started training for the IRONMAN, I was like, okay, I really need to be careful with my nutrition and what I'm doing, what I'm taking. And in particular, I was worried about protein, mainly because I'm on I would say 90% vegan diet. What does 90% vegan diet mean? It means at home, I'm trying to be vegan most of the time. I will occasionally eat some cheese with friends, or if we have a barbecue or something, I'm still gonna eat some meat or some fish, but it's a very small quantities. And then when I travel, I'm quite flexible. For example, after Laura died, I went to Kenya for 10 days, and there I ate a lot of meat because I was mainly traveling in a way, except for the first safari. After that, I was traveling with a local guide, and I was like, just do what you do with your, with your cousin, with your sister, with your brother. Like when you're traveling with them, like go to the places you would go. That's the Kenya I want to see. And so I ate a lot of cow's meat, a lot of goat, and yeah. So to me, vegan is the reason why I try to be vegan as much as possible is, for the animals, because I don't draw the line at any point. I grew up eating horse. So for most people, that would be like, oh my God, how can you eat horse? Where I'm like, well, to me, that's normal. So it's always like, where do you draw the line? And now I draw the line at plant-based or animals. And occasionally I do eat animals and I'm aware of what's behind it. And I think that's extremely important as far as the environment goes, animal welfare, which is non-existent. It doesn't matter if you're eating grass-fed, whatever, it's still the worst conditions you could possibly imagine, especially when it comes to slaughter. Obvious reasons, there's no nice way of killing anything. So these are kind of the reasons, and obviously, the impact on the environment and climate change. So these are the reasons why I'm trying to be as vegan as I can, and with some what I call them like failures every now and then. So I was mainly worried about proteins. So I started, tracking everything I ate and so on, and bought a protein powder and just took that as I was training. And I was like, what am I doing? I have no idea like what I'm taking and why I'm taking it. I started taking AG1. I started taking B12. I started taking vitamin D. And then I was watching the World Championships in Kona, so triathlon, Ironman, World Championships in Kona, Hawaii, and they advertised a blood test, which I will put a link down in the description. I don't think there's any referral, but I think it's a good product. So, and that's one thing, just a small note on when I say I put a link down in the description. When it's Amazon links, that is part of Amazon Associates, I think it's called. So I would get a small percentage if you make the purchase. And other things, I would just put a link in the description. And I would write if it's affiliate or non-affiliate, and then, there's no extra cost to you. Sometimes you get a discount if it's an actual referral program, and if not, I would get a small percentage. So just to be 100% clear on what's going on there. And since we're talking about referrals, if you enjoy my content, if you enjoy the channel, it would help massively if you subscribe, turn on the notification button, and like the video. And if you got all the way till here, I think you're enjoying it. So, you may just as well subscribe. If not, just don't subscribe. It's fine. Like, you're free to do whatever you want. So I saw this blood test. I think it's called BioStarks. I'll double check. And you get your kit at home. Just pinch your finger, and then blood comes out, and then you put it in this probe, and then send it away by post. And I think it takes about 10 days or something. You'll get your blood results. And in there you have like this massive list. So they have different ones. They have one for nutrition, one for longevity, I believe, and one for sports. I've always only done the one for sports because I was interested in that. So I do not know how their other products are, but in the website you can check exactly what's being checked. One thing with the sports one, at some point they just removed out of nowhere like B12, which confused me a lot because it was the main thing I was tracking, because I was massively B12 deficient. And no, it's not because I'm vegan, because shit tons of the world's population is B12 deficient, iron deficient, and. So that's my point. Please either do it yourself with BioStarks, or there are a couple of other good websites, or just go to your doctor and say, hey, I would like to do a full blood test. But then what is extremely important is to speak to your doctor and ask for the blood results. The reason for that is because, unfortunately, and I'm saying that in the nicest way, it's not their fault, doctors have absolutely no clue about nutrition. And again, it's not their fault. In Switzerland, to become a doctor, I think it's like 8 years of university. And speaking to a few friends of mine, they get 1 week. 1 week out of 8 years. That's 52 times 8. They get 1 week out of all of that of nutrition. So they have no idea whatsoever. Even nutritionists, you really need to find a good one. And the problem there is nutrition keeps changing. If you go back 5, 6, 10 years, or even 2 years, on what the recommendations are for nutrition, you can focus on overall nutrition or sports. It keeps changing. It keeps changing. And there's athletes such as Ross Edgley, for example, who are doing a lot of work in trying to understand, how much carbs intake we can have in an hour while doing endurance activities. And in his recent swim in the Yukon, he really pushed that envelope quite a lot to what was considered humanly possible. And so things are evolving, things are changing, and unfortunately, as in with many branches of medicine, but other jobs as well. Not a lot of people get the latest information, latest studies, latest updates. So I normally prefer to do my own research. Own research means I get the blood results, in my case from BioStarks. I did share them with my doctor. He's an athlete himself, he's a runner, and he was really interested actually. He said, oh, whoa, that's really interesting. Oh, that's some, he even said like, oh, that's like some, tests or results I would never even look at, but it actually makes total sense for recovery, for this, for that. So it was a really nice and interesting conversation with him. And then, well, the results are quite obvious. I was deficient in B12, omega-3, magnesium, carnitine. So that really kind of goes and shows the vegan trend. Iron, I'm doing really well. And then I had way too much, I forgot the exact name, but of a protein. And I was like, okay. So I went on ChatGPT and I started, questioning. I said, hey, uploaded the PDF and I said, this is my blood results. And what do you make out of it? Like, how is it possible that I'm like extremely high in protein and extremely low in carnitine? And I was like, ChatGPT wasn't even helping that much. So you have to brainstorm yourself. And then I thought, wait a minute, that protein powder I'm taking, could that be the thing? And I was like, oh yeah, absolutely, because the amount of protein in there, blah, 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 blah. And it explained everything to me, as in why I was so high. So it was like, stop taking the protein powder. You obviously have enough proteins with your diet, but you must take carnitine because that's very low. Then it came to magnesium. I asked the doctor, so even though he's an athlete and so on, he said, yeah, you can just take, magnesium from the supermarket. Unfortunately, that's wrong. There's different type of magnesium. Research what's the best type of magnesium, how well it gets absorbed by the body. So if you take the one from the supermarket, you can basically take 10 tablets a day and you're most likely not absorbing anything. And that's another really important thing, like how do you absorb things and how do you kill the effect of something. So you eat spinach, for example, for iron, and you want to have some sort of vitamin C combined with it. It will help massively with absorbing. So that could be lemon juice or a slice of orange or whatever, but it helps a lot. Then if you drink, don't kill me on that one. It just goes by memory. We all make mistakes. I think it was green tea. If you drink green tea, it almost kills these absorption of iron. So there's all these small little bits and bobs that go around this supplementation. And that's why I always say, do a blood test. So magnesium, I bought the right type of magnesium. Omega-3, it splits in order different branches. So I was like, well, I'm low in this, but high in that. Which one is the best Omega-3 oil I could take? So I found a vegan oil, and that one is the best for me, which doesn't mean it's the best for you. And this is the point. Then vitamin D, it's quite good, and I need it. B12, it's been given to me by the doctor. So when we looked at the results, he said, you really need shit tons of vitamin D. And then again, why you need to check with your doctor for certain things. B12 and iron is very hard to bring the levels back up just with supplements. So you normally need injections for B12 and an infusion for iron. So that's extremely important to bring you back at a normal level. Then you can keep it at that level with supplements. But to go back to the right values with supplements only, it takes years, and if you even get there. So that's also a very important point. So I done I think 5 injections or something, and then I'm taking these tablets, and now it's been a year and a half. And in the next couple of months, we're going to do an additional blood test to see the B12 level. So I'll do it there because, as I mentioned, BioStarks for some reason just removed it. So if anyone from BioStarks watching this video, which I don't think so, but I just say, or if you know anyone over there, why did you take B12 away? That's like the main thing an athlete wants to see. So it makes no sense to me. So yeah, do your research. do blood tests, and then take supplements. So I take AG1. Why do I take AG1? It's expensive. You get used to the taste, but it is quite shitty. So it has 65 or 75 different nutrients. I don't remember exactly now. And I've spent some time researching all of them, and it's really good stuff. They're one of the few companies that constantly improve the recipe, that puts research into it. It's one of the most transparent companies. So that's really important to me as well, because I'm like, I just kind of want to know what I'm putting into my body. And the one part I don't like of them, it's how much they push it. And I don't know, I will put a link down in the description. I believe it's going to be a referral link, so I will get something out of it. You will get a discount, but I just genuinely recommend it because I noticed an improvement since I'm taking it. So I tried it. I also think they have a 90-day money back guarantee, so you could try it for 90 days, which I think is pretty good. And if you try it though, like stick to it, like do it every single day, don't skip it, and then see if it really does make a difference for you. For me, when I try and get into a healthy routine, which is I fall out of it every now and then, I fail, I'm not perfect, no one is perfect, and that's the goal of this channel, is to keep things real, because you don't want to, I don't want to send a wrong message. I want to keep it real. If you ever meet me in real life, it has to be me. It doesn't have to be that image that I send out on YouTube. I think that's really important. I just listened to episode 900 from Chris Williamson's podcast, Modern Wisdom. And he does mention that as well, where I think he says something like he met someone that had a business owner that had a YouTube channel, and he used to follow that. And then he says like, oh, why are you not posting on YouTube anymore? And he said, I couldn't keep up that image anymore. People expected me to be that person, which like I'm not all the time in real life. I am some parts, but not all. And that's exactly what I want with this YouTube channel. That's why it took me so long to start a YouTube channel, because I'm like, what am I going to talk about? And then I thought, I just talk about what I know. I share my knowledge. I share my experiences. I think for being 37, I lived a lot with, if you're new to the channel, I have a background in freediving, skydiving, base jumping. I had a base jumping accident that I survived. I lost over 40 friends base jumping. Unfortunately, I lost my wife to cancer. And so, I've been through all of that. I've been into endurance sports as well. I'm an IRONMAN coach, and I feel like I have a lot that I can share, and my ultimate goal is to genuinely be able to share something with someone and to help someone, if it's even just one person. And when I talk about keeping it real, there's one of my dogs here now, so I'll just pet her for a moment and be happy she's here. Also, after my wife died, I wanted to end it all, and she made me promise I'd take care of our girls, and here I am, taking care of the dogs, and I'm happy now. I'm happy I didn't do it, but mental health and suicide prevention is something I'm big on. Not everyone is as lucky as me. Having the dogs, having talked about all these things with Laura before she died. So I feel like there is a lot of people out there who need help, and don't ever be afraid to reach out to me or to anyone in the comments, in a private message, via email, whatever, if you need help, because it's extremely important. It's just, you can reach anyone these days, and if you can do that, do it. So this channel, I kind of got lost a little bit now, so I don't even remember what I was talking about. But again, keeping it real, it's fine. I'm not going to edit it. I'm just going to post it the way it is. So with AG1, I'm taking it because I believe it's a good product. I tried another one from Germany, And I am huge on no waste with anything. Like, don't waste food, just don't waste. And I'm big on recycling, but I'm more like into, you shouldn't even put yourself in the situation where you need to recycle all the time. Like, try to avoid packaging to start with. So I'm really big on trying not to waste anything. I bought that product because it's cheaper than AG1. I saw on a table, which turned out to be questionable, that basically was a better product with better controls, with more transparency, and then turns out actually that wasn't the case. I cross-checked with a couple of websites and information and so on, and resources. And it's still in my cupboard, and I'm gonna throw it away because it's seriously, I don't know. I'm not gonna name the company because I think you should be free to try other options other than AG1. But yeah, that I'm spending some time on this product just because it's so highly. If you listen to any podcast, Andrew Huberman, Chris Williamson, Matthew Walker, a sleep expert, I believe Rich Roll as well. Now, so many of the best triathletes, Ironman distance in the world, like Sam Laidlow and so many others, like, are using it. And you start thinking, I think even Christian Blumenfeld and Gustav Iden are using it. And like, these were the guys that said they'd never taken any supplements, so now they're taking supplements. Is it because they get good money out of it, or is it because they just genuinely believe in it? And I feel like the Norwegians, especially, so Christian and Gustav, are so much at the very top of biohacking and bioengineering with their coach, that I feel like they wouldn't be taking it if it wasn't good. And they wouldn't advertise it either because, no offense, but English-speaking countries, my wife was Australian, I spent quite some time in Canada, in the US, a few times in England. I lived for a year in New Zealand, lived on and off in Australia. English-speaking countries tend to be, I'd say, fake polite and fake in general. And by fake, I mean, again, don't get it wrong, but like overly friendly. And I remember we were watching a video about, moving to Australia, and the guy in the video said, it was basically kind of a fun video, but like reasons not to move to Australia. And he was saying, Australians are friendly, but they're not your friends. And that kind of sums up what I'm trying to say. So if it was an American athlete, full-on advertising, AG1, I could maybe question it. But when it comes to different cultures, such as northern countries, Scandinavian countries, Norway, Sweden, Finland, they're some of the most honest, brutally direct humans you'll ever meet in your life. And that's why I'm like, if they're taking a supplement, that could be any supplement, it's because it adds something to their life. They're not just advertising it. So again, no offense to anyone at all. I'm just kind of analyzing cultures. And I don't want to get into politics, but the recent meeting between Trump and Zelensky, you could clearly see the difference in culture and the approach. It's like very different. And Eastern European are even more direct and more honest. They will be the ones telling you, we've never had breakfast together, as in, we're not friends, but we can obviously talk, we can become friends, but it doesn't mean we're besties, like, hello, homie, just kind of thing. So that's what I'm trying to say, no offense. And this kind of sums up this video, where do a blood test, know what you're deficient in, do your own research, and then maybe cross-check that with a doctor. I think that's always a good recommendation. And then you are good to go and order your supplements. So I'm going to be posting, as I said, a few links in the description of some of the products I use. Not all of them, because again, I'll focus more on the generic ones, especially the blood test. I think that's really important. But if you have the chance, just do your blood test directly with your doctor and then analyze the data with them, ask for the data, do your own research, go back to them with your own results. And again, about results, you also cannot expect a doctor to go through every single one of the whatever 30 like levels that they check. They do not have the time physically to do that. So it's up to you to do the work and then go with the results and say, hey, these 3 things, what do you recommend? Is there any supplements that it's better to take from you, or is it okay to take it from the supermarket or from the internet and so on? So this wraps up this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what supplements you're taking, why you're taking them, and if you have any questions, again, drop them down in a comment. I read and reply to every single comment. It's a new channel, so it's not a big job, is it? But I'm really happy to do that and to interact. So yeah, have fun. Have a good weekend. It's Friday. I'm posting this video now, so have a good one.